Rev up your engines. Okay, we got a new Ford Maverick Lariat. The guy was waiting 15 months and he finally got it. It was a long wait. Now, was it worth the wait? Well, he's happy with it, especially his wife's happy with it. So we're gonna go through it and show you what they have, what you get. Ford first said they're making these Mavericks. They said they're gonna sell a pickup truck for under $20,000. Well, let's not hold our breath on that one because is what this one went for. $35,215. Now, I don't even call that close to $20,000 myself, but realize one thing. Even the F-150s, they say, here's the list price, right? Okay, last year, the average price of an F-150 that people actually paid, there's guys that research it, and it was like $61,500. Well, they say their lowest price is $29,640, but the average one that was sold in the U.S. last year went for like $61,500. So be leery of these catch you with low prices and then come in. Don't listen to the advertising hype. In this case, they're a little bit on the sneaky side, because if you look at this, what does it say? Manufactured by Ford. It just says Ford, right? But what you look at is this, 3, number 3. 3 means it's made in Mexico. So it's made in Mexico. I mean, it used to have, they say Baja de California on some of them. So you'd think it was California, but it's Baja, California, Mexico. Well, in this case, they're kind of being sneaky. They're not telling you, but yeah. They're put together in Mexico. My son's TRD Tacoma, it was made in Mexico too, and it's perfectly fine. It has a 4-cylinder gasoline engine and a hybrid motor and a battery pack. He's getting 40 miles a gallon in town around Madisonville, and he's getting 32 on the highway. Now, a lot of people say, oh, that's not phenomenal, but really, come on now, it's a pickup truck. The last Ford pickup truck I worked on got 16 miles a gallon tops. It was an Explorer, an older one, right? So, you can get 40 miles a gallon in a little pickup truck. That's something. And speaking of little, that's one of the 2 main reasons he bought the truck. His wife didn't like their Ranger. It was too big. They've grown like everything else into bigger trucks, right? She didn't like it, and she didn't like how it rode. They're kind of rough riding. Well, she likes the size. It's not outrageously high, so she can easily get it out, but it's not like it's a low rider and you're gonna drag on the ground. But the big deal with this hybrid is it's front wheel drive. As you can see, the drive shafts are in the front and in the back. You can see there's no differential, no drive shafts, but you can also see it's got independent suspension in the back. And even though it's an economy vehicle, it has a spare tire look. An actual spare tire. With this front wheel drive, independent suspension, this rides much more like a car than it does like a truck. So it looks like a truck, but it really kind of rides like a car. We'll see when we drive it around. I've tried them before, and they all really surprised me how well they drove. Now, people are always worried about quality control from Mexico, so let's take a look around. And let's check fit. I mean, the paint is phenomenal. Here's the fit. Let's look at the other side. Well, it's exactly the same. A lot better than a Tesla. Doors are the same. What do they sound like? Sounds pretty solid to me. Check the other side. Nice and solid. No rattling. Airbags all over the place. Comfortable seats. Now, not outrageously large inside. It is a compact truck. It's not like an F-150. You could have a football game in the back seats, but still. It's got computer power outlets, 120 volt with 400 watt max because it's a hybrid. So you can put out more power. 120 volts there. It's a compact truck, so it's got a relatively compact bed, but you're not buying this to haul a bunch of junk. Got nice alloy wheels, decent sized rear disc brakes too. So if you can buy a pickup truck that your wife likes to drive and ride in, that is a big thing. Everybody keeps thinking bigger, bigger, bigger. That's why he got rid of the Ranger. Even the Ranger was too big. And an F-150 was totally out of the question, right? There's a lot of people that are happy with a smaller pickup truck. And if they've never driven one of these, my advice is just go road test one to see how they ride. But as the owner said, if you can find one, cause he did wait, a year and a half to get a hold of his because they just weren't making them fast enough. Now, it is a hybrid with a 4-cylinder gasoline engine. A lot of people are wondering about hybrids. Ford's been making these hybrids for quite some time. I had many customers with Ford hybrids and they were happy with them. Eventually they broke, but I mean, Most of them broke down when they had 200,000 miles or more on them, so it's not like they're going to fall apart in front of your very eyes. As we go inside, nice little copper touch on the inside door handle there. Really solid sound. Start her up. Of course, it won't make any noise because it's a hybrid vehicle. It won't make any noise until we start to run it. It's hybrid, everything's automatic, electronic. The transmission's all electronic, the parking brake's electronic. It's got a decent screen. It's got a remote charger here, you don't have to plug it in. If you got a phone that will accept direct charging without plugging it in. And the screen doesn't bother your view. It's not blocking like some of those Toyotas, the screens go way up. I find them annoying. This fits in there. Very comfy. Nice comfy padded armrest. And yeah, there's no sunroof, but really, come on, it's a pickup truck. Do they really need sunroofs? They got place for your sunglasses, that's good enough. Play with the settings and everything on the screen. It's got a decent touch screen. Look, it all works fine. Lots of hand controls on the steering wheel, cruise control, stereo system. You can go through the whole menu system. So of course you're gonna want to know how this thing drives. We'll take it for a spin. It's a hybrid. If you never drove one, you gotta get kind of used to it because now it's just operating on battery power. We don't need AC, we don't need anything. There. This is one quiet truck, except it's gotta make this noise because it has to warn people. The only thing is, if I heard this noise, I wouldn't know, what am I looking for? Like, is it a lost cow with a bell ringing? I don't know, what a strange sound. But isn't the engine clunking because it has a problem? And like I said, okay, it's a truck, but really, it handles a lot more like a car. That independent suspension, we can get the bumps, you don't really feel it. Now the engine's kicking in because we're going faster. Now it's regenerating electricity, got some zip to it for a little truck. And of course, if you're not used to hybrids, you gotta get used to the odd noises and like here's the regenerating brakes. Woo! They make odd noises. 100% energy return. Gives you all the stories here. A hybrid front wheel drive Ford pickup's going out to the country. Country hasn't seen too many of these things yet. Now comes the true test. It is a Ford pickup. Would Bonnie and Clyde be happy using one of these to rob banks with? I don't know. Let's find out. Here we go. On your mark, get set, go. Now it's a CVT transmission, so of course, it doesn't have gears to shift. And it's not a race truck by any stretch of the imagination, but hey, it got going 60 miles an hour pretty quick. It's the gas mileage that these things, and a smooth ride. It's a smaller truck, smaller wheelbase, but it doesn't ride like, say, a Ford Ranger or an old Ford pickup truck like a Courier that just had springs in the back and a solid diff, and every time you hit bumps, the fillings would come out of your teeth. It's got a nice smooth ride, and like I said, you step on the gas, you can pass people. Look, it picks up pretty quickly because the electric boost motor puts out a lot of torque so you can pass. That's how it gets better gas mileage in the city, but when you gotta pass somebody, step on the gas, hey, the corn starts flying by a lot faster pretty quick. So it's now going on electric miles. We've gone 1.1 electric miles. And the gas mileage is going up because we're running out of electricity now. Of course, the gas mileage will stink with me driving it because I'm driving it hard just to show you what it can do. But again, when we get to the twisties, hey, this thing drives more like a car than a truck. No under oversteer, this thing is smooth. Being a hybrid, since it's got the hybrid system, when you do come to a stop, the engine turns off too. So it's really quiet. Other than that fan that's running, look how quiet it is. We'll see how the transition is when we take off. Here we go. Fast transition, you really feel the lag. Hybrids transition a lot faster than those stop and go internal combustion engines where it just turns off, so it's a lot smoother transition and it's a lot less wear on the vehicle. I don't hear any odd road noise. It looks like they put this together pretty well in Mexico. I don't hear rattling stuff. Now of course this vehicle is new. It's only got 358 miles on it. So, we don't know what the test of time is going to do, but hey, this guy just lives down the road. So as time goes on, we'll check out with him to see how it's holding up over the years. If I last another 10 years, we'll see how this thing's lasting in another 10 years. But really, it's a very smooth riding little pickup truck, and a lot of that has to do with the front wheel drive system. You're not going to get the fishtailing you get with the rear wheel pickup truck, where the rear wheels are going to spin, you're going to be drifting too much. This handles the road quite well. We'll take the corner. Easy turns. You don't have to worry about it all swinging around because it's gripping in the front. The engine, the transmission is in the front, so it can pull its own weight. You don't have the rear slipping tires like you do in a regular pickup truck. Now, fans that doing burnouts aren't gonna like it, but regular drivers are gonna love it. Where can you get a little pickup truck and get 40 miles a gallon in town and handle so well and ride so smoothly? Here we go on a big corner. I didn't even slow down. And I didn't feel like I was losing anything. Check it out, we're just sitting there. The world's quietest pickup truck. It's running while it's sitting on battery power. We'll turn it off now. Well, I'll tell you one thing. I'm happy that Ford made these and they got the 4-cylinder hybrid in it. They didn't make them with the stupid 3-cylinder. Originally, they were talking about putting those 3-cylinder turbos in them, and I thought that's going to be the world's biggest mistake. They're going to blow up. They'd have all kinds of problems with them, right? No, 4-cylinder inline gasoline engine hooked up to a hybrid system. Gets phenomenal gas mileage in town and 32 on a highway. That's pretty good for a pickup truck that rides as well as this does, because the engine transmission's all in the front, on top of the drive wheels. Plenty of weight on the drive wheels so they don't slip, so they pull themselves. Vehicles pull themselves better than they push themselves. That's why most vehicles are front wheel drive these days. When you push them from the back, babies are going to slide all over the place, especially in the winter, snow. What's in the back of a pickup truck? Nothing. In the very back, hardly any weight. A lot of guys will put a bunch of weight in the winter just so they don't slide around. You don't even have to think about it. It's front wheel drive. And yes, they're made in Mexico. I don't see any quality controls with this particular one. It's brand new. We'll see what happens as time passes on. But as it stands now, it's solid build. It's built a lot better than a Tesla. All the panels meet. The paint was done phenomenally. It's a beautiful paint job. Like I said with the F-150s, you're supposed to be able to get one for $29,500, and the average F-150 in the United States sold for over 61 grand. So 30-something grand for a little truck that rides like this. You consider the average new car today costs over $50,000. If you want a truck that kind of drives like a car, but you want to have a little truck, definitely at least check one of these things out. So if you never want to miss another one of my new car repair videos, remember to ring that bell.